Are you ready to uncover the captivating story of the man who dared to steal almost £2.6 million in cold, hard cash, only to find themselves playing Monopoly with their ill-gotten treasure in a secret hideout? But who were these disguised people? And how did they become near celebrities after escaping from jail? Join us as we delve into the fascinating details of one of the 20th century's most talked about crimes. The traffic signal controlling the movement of vehicles at Sears Crossing was displaying a vivid red light, indicating a halt to all approaching trains. Unaware of the deceitful nature of the signal, the train's driver, Jack Mills, obediently brought his locomotive to a complete stop. As Jack Mills complied with the signal and halted the train, his co-driver, David Whitby, was filled with bewilderment. Puzzled by the unexpected situation, he disembarked from the train with the intention of contacting the signalman for further clarification. However, to his astonishment, he discovered that the telephone cables, essential for communication, had been meticulously severed, rendering any attempts to seek assistance futile. Confusion soon turned into chaos when, out of nowhere, an assailant launched a surprise attack on David, ruthlessly assaulting him and forcefully throwing him down the steep embankment. Meanwhile, inside the train's cab, a masked intruder stealthily gained access. Armed with an iron bar, he mercilessly struck Mr. Mills, the 57-year-old driver, rendering him unconscious. This swift and brutal blow left Jack defenseless and incapacitated. Seizing control of the situation, the assailant proceeded to separate the carriages, skillfully detaching all but the engine and the first two cars. With their devious plan unfolding seamlessly, the gang members embarked on their audacious theft, making off with a staggering sum of money equivalent to over £46 million in today's currency. The ill-gotten gains acquired by the robbers amounted to an astonishing £2.6 million, a considerable fortune especially considering the time period. To put it into perspective, during an era where the average weekly wage was less than £15, this stolen haul represented an exorbitant amount of wealth. The Great Train Robbery is one of the most infamous crimes of the 20th century. Among the masked individuals involved in this audacious heist, Ronnie Biggs, particularly after his dramatic jailbreak, achieved a near-celebrity status that added to the intrigue surrounding the event. On August 7, 1963, the Royal Mail train embarked on its journey from Glasgow, destined for London Euston. The train carried postal staff responsible for sorting the mail en route to its final destination. Towards the front of the train was the high-value package carriage, where registered mail was meticulously organized. This carriage predominantly contained cash, and on this particular bank holiday weekend in Scotland, the sum inside the carriage was an astonishing £2.6 million, a significant increase compared to the usual £300,000. It was as the train passed a lightened buzzard that the meticulously planned operation executed by the gang of 15 individuals was set in motion. Ingeniously, they had placed a glove on the signal and ingeniously used a battery to illuminate the red light, effectively halting the train. With both train drivers incapacitated, the gang devised a plan to move the train approximately 1 mile further to Bridgeo Bridge, where waiting for Land Rovers would facilitate the transfer of the stolen cash to a nearby hideaway, a rented farmhouse located in Oakley, Buckinghamshire. However, a man known as Old Pete, who had spent months masquerading as a railway enthusiast, skillfully ingratiating himself with the staff to acquire knowledge on how to operate a train, soon realized that handling the massive diesel locomotive was beyond his capabilities. In a pivotal moment, the infamous Ronnie Biggs stepped forward, playing a crucial role in rousing the driver and initiating the movement of the train. Despite widespread speculation and rumors regarding his level of involvement, Ronnie Biggs himself refuted the notion that he was the mastermind behind the robbery, dismissing it as entirely incorrect. Similarly, he dismissed the claim that he merely served as a T-boy, asserting that it was an inaccurate portrayal of his role in the meticulously planned heist. Upon their arrival at the Bridgeo Bridge, the determined gang of robbers formed a human chain, swiftly unloading 120 sacks that contained a staggering 2.5 tons of cash. In a bid to ensure their escape, they commanded the post office staff present to remain motionless for a nerve-wracking duration of 30 minutes, heightening the tension and consolidating their control over the situation. Once safely ensconced in their carefully chosen hideout, the members of the gang embarked on the task of dividing the ill-gotten wealth amongst themselves. Interestingly, they even engaged in a game of Monopoly, utilizing real money as their plain currency, a symbolic act that seemingly blurred the lines between fantasy and reality. Originally intending to lay low for an extended period of time, the robbers' nerves were shaken by the presence of low-flying aircraft from the Royal Air Force, which triggered a sense of unease and compelled them to reassess their situation. The stolen money, consisting primarily of £1 and £5 notes, was subsequently divided among the members of the gang. Ronnie Biggs, one of the key players in the heist, received a share amounting to £147,000, a substantial sum by any measure. Criminologist Professor David Wilson aptly explains the phenomenon, noting that the crime was so daring and outlandish that it simultaneously fascinated and repelled people, encapsulating their imaginations and defying conventional norms. Eventually, none of the individuals involved in the heist were apprehended and brought to trial on January 20, 1964. Each member of the group faced a severe sentence, being condemned to 30 years of imprisonment as a consequence of their criminal actions. The mastermind behind the entire operation, Bruce Reynolds, opted for a life of luxury in Mexico and Canada for a span of 5 years before his eventual arrest. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 25 years behind bars, serving a decade of his sentence before regaining his freedom. Following his return to Britain due to financial constraints, the determined and relentless Scotland Yard detective Thomas Butler successfully apprehended Bruce Reynolds, marking the end of the criminal's evasive journey. Reynolds, who had chosen a life of crime since his teenage years after abandoning his accounts job at the Daily Mail, had already served time for theft before orchestrating the grand train robbery, which he famously likened to the Sistine Chapel ceiling, in terms of its significance within his criminal career. In 2013, at the age of 81, Reynolds passed away, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in notoriety and intrigue. Ronnie Biggs, on the other hand, faced imprisonment but managed to escape from Wandsworth prison 15 months later, utilizing a furniture van as his means of evasion. He subsequently sought refuge in Brazil, where his whereabouts remained unknown until 1974. Biggs himself made a distinction between being a criminal and being a crook, asserting that while crooks steal, criminals resort to violence, a distinction he claimed to embody. For 36 years, he indulged in a flamboyant and hedonistic lifestyle in South America, with rumors circulating about his numerous encounters with girls, reportedly totaling around 2,500 girls. In 2001, after enduring 3 strokes, Biggs decided to return to the UK. However, upon his arrival, he was promptly incarcerated and sent back to Wandsworth prison. He was eventually granted freedom in 2009 on health grounds, just 2 days before his 80th birthday. In 2013, at the age of 84, Ronnie Biggs passed away, bringing an end to his tumultuous and controversial life. Among the gang members, Ronald Buster Edwards is widely believed to have been the one responsible for striking train driver Jack Mills with a cush, resulting in severe brain damage from which Mills never fully recovered. The debilitating injuries forced him into early retirement, and he tragically passed away in 1970 at the age of 64. As for Edwards himself, a former boxer and club owner, he managed to elude capture of a considerable period, spending 3 years on the run in Europe and Mexico. In 1966, Ronald Buster Edwards made the decision to surrender himself and subsequently received a 9-year prison sentence. Following his release, he embraced a relatively public life, becoming a familiar sight at a flower seller station outside London's Waterloo Station. Edwards' life story became the subject of the 1988 film Buster, in which he was portrayed by renowned musician and actor Phil Collins. The film achieved significant success at the box office, further solidifying the intrigue surrounding Great Train Robbery and Edwards' role in it. Tragically, in 1994, Edwards was discovered deceased by hanging in a garage at the age of 62. He had struggled with alcohol dependency and depression, which ultimately contributed to his untimely demise. It is worth noting that 4 members of the gang involved in the Great Train Robbery managed to evade capture, thus eluding justice. Their identities and whereabouts remain unknown, adding an air of mystery to the already intriguing narrative surrounding the heist. Even after almost 57 years since the occurrence of the robbery, the event continues to captivate the public's imagination and remains one of the most renowned and discussed heists in history. Thanks for watching. If you want more exciting stories about daring crimes and intriguing secrets, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you never miss an update.